From the center of the galaxy, we are a trio. This is ForceCenter Star Wars News Live. We, of course, our show covers Star Wars, pop culture, the ultimate adventure, life itself. I'm Ken Namsa.
I'm Jen Landa.
I'm Joseph Scrimshaw.
And we are here. We're back. We had Mumbo Jimbo in chat. Hello there, ForceCenter. Duo, trio. We are all here today. And we're going to be talking about some continue our look at Maul Shadow Lord. We had a big live discussion and took your calls on the trailer, the teaser trailer that dropped last week. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about it, but also get Jennifer's reactions to all that there. Business up top, as we always like to do, because business in the front, party in the back. Today's podcast is brought to you by our shop on Fourth Wall. Check out our merch store there. Pick up a t-shirt, pint glass, something there to support the show and represent ForceCenter out in the wild. You can go to ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com, ForceCenter-shop.fourthwall.com for more. Joseph, we got some stuff to highlight and something that we are putting out there as well with what's going on in Minnesota.
That is right. Right now, for ourselves, we are highlighting Patreon and not reaching to any specific goal, but just reminding folks who maybe haven't given it a shot what you get if you join. You get access to our Discord, where you can have fun, friendly, safe conversations with fellow Star Wars fans. There's going to be more prompts for questions, our call-in show, different levels get merch. So if you're interested and you have the funds, I know it's a hard time, check it out. And far more importantly, speaking of funds, I talked a little bit on the show that'll be coming out later in the week that we pre-recorded about what's going on in Minnesota and obviously the horrible tragedy this weekend. We wanted to highlight the website standwithminnesota.com. This is an organization that a person has put together, this website that lists all sorts of different ways that you can help, all sorts of different places to give money to. So if you want to help with legal funds for people who have been, harassed, if you want to help with food for people who can't leave their home, all sorts of different kinds of mutual aid are listed and you can read about them. It's a great resource. So we wanted to highlight it. And while I'm blabbing, I think this website is a really good picture of what is happening in Minnesota, which is neighbors bonding together. It's community. People are helping in all the different ways that they can. And a person, not a government leader, just a person who used to live in Minnesota and loves it, just was like, somebody should put all these resources in one place, and did. There's been just fabulous community organizing in Minnesota, and I think that is the hope in the dark time. So if you want to help, you can go to standwithminnesota.com.
Absolutely, fully endorsed here by all three of us here at ForceCenter, and as we provide a warm, fun distraction from the real world, we never want to turn away from it as well. And we appreciate all of our ForceCenter listeners always joining us in that as well. Before I dive in, Jen, I keep saying like you're returning. You were here last Monday, but not on third. It just seems like it's been a while. So, anyways, hi, welcome back, Star Wars Life Adventures. Anything? Take it away.
No, I'm knee deep in clinical stuff. I am now at a clinic a couple days a week.
Oh,
And yeah, it's really exciting. I'm I'm not allowed to talk about anything, but it is interesting that I was like, how can I talk to, I have a lot of, kids that I'm going to be working with the pediatric population, hopefully later on. And I'm like, how can I incorporate Star Wars into my speech therapy? I'm like, there's a lot of S's, like Star Wars, right? Because we use a lot of books. I use puppets. I have my wonderful Wampa puppet that I'm like, should I bust out my Wampa puppet? It's just really fun to think about ways, and every kid is going to have their own thing that they enjoy. But for the kids that like Star Wars, I will be the Star Wars speech therapist.
That is great.
Yeah,
right. It's like all your things coming together, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will not push anyone to contentize their everything about their life. But if you're to put videos out there, it might be powerful, it might be good, and Whitney Cummings would make fun of you. So I think it's something to consider, Jen.
Yeah.
On your turn.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I think teaching children hello there seems like a very.
Hello there.
Where are all these very polite children coming from? Like, Jen Lam has taught them to say hello there.
Right. Yoda speak. That would be that'd be a complicated discussion with the family.
Can you scream like a TIE fighter? This is why I had children. And James Farley says, "Boss loves speech therapy."
I love that, because sometimes we might say like the snake sound, but the boss sound. Oh, that's fun. Thank you. I'm gonna make notes, you guys. I'm gonna make notes.
Yeah,
that's amazing. There you go.
Kind super chat from Obi-Wan Jacoby 840. Missed the charity stream, but check out that website. Hashtag I have friends everywhere. Thank you very, very much.
Indeed. That's Jennifer's adventures. My adventures are late night comedy shows and existential dread. So a lot of fun stuff. But what do you got, Joseph?
Wait a minute. Are those two separate adventures, or are they the same adventure?
Often the same.
Yeah.
No, often the same. I had good shows this weekend. A lot of fun. I actually returned to the Hollywood Improv for the first time in 20 years. Hosted a show over there Friday night. A lot of fun. It just it's not to get too serious, but like with what's going on, it's I do believe even here on this show or as a comic, sometimes you are there to provide the needed distraction, and I never think there's anything wrong with that. And I do think protect your peace is an important thing, but there's just kind of something hanging over all of this, and especially after the murder, the execution of Alex Preddy. Like, there's just it wasn't that we were ignoring. It's just like I see a lot of confusion, fear, and just overwhelmed feelings behind all the eyes this weekend. It was present in all the green rooms. It was present in the crowds, different in a way. And it was affecting. It was haunting, as it should be, unfortunately, because of what's going on. But I'd rather be haunted than unaware or choosing to turn away. But that kind of hung over everything I did this week. So sorry to get serious, but that was part of it. Part of the journey this weekend.
Very, very, very good. Very, very. I'm glad to hear that. Because I had my adventures in the world is I had fun stuff planned for Saturday. I was going to take Saturday off, and that's I think a part of the struggle for a lot of folks. Obviously, the worst struggle, anything dealing with ICE, is people who are being physically, wounded, abused, kidnapped, murdered. Obviously, that's the worst. But for me, there is this general sense of like I can't stop checking my phone because there's the like I need to know what's going on and how can I plan, a fun day. So on Saturday, I, woke up to the news and it was extremely upsetting, obviously. But and I wrestled with it, but I had that, like, I'm not going to change anything. So I'm going to go about with my plans. And my particular plan that day was to go to the Egyptian theater that was doing a screening of THX 1138, Lucas's first film. With a conversation after the film with Walter Murch, the co-writer and the sound designer, and Walter Murch, the kind of the third partner in the American Zoetrope with Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola, and like a great editor, amazing. So I wanted to go see it, but when I first got there, there was just like hubbub in the theater of like, hey, we're just going to see a movie, and it was really, really hard for me because I know like. People probably knew what was going on, but it was sort of like I had that moment where I just wanted to scream, why are any of us at a movie theater? Even though I was one of the people at the movie theater. But what ended up making me feel a little bit better was the art. I don't know how many people have watched THX 1138. It's a weird, slower, artsy film, but it hit hard how relevant it is. It is a without spoilers, it's a dystopian society, but you don't really know how the society happened or formed. There isn't one charismatic leader of the dystopian society. It's a dystopian society where they have discouraged flowing organic communication. Everybody is drugged. You're not supposed to have any sort of intimate relations with people. Everybody's provided the same religious service of being able to talk to just this picture of a sort of Jesus priest looking guy. And it's just programmed with pat answers. And there's a scene early on where our main character, THX 1138, is in pain and needs guidance and needs help. And it's giving basically Chat GPT AI answers of interrupting and not truly listening. And it's this fakery of humanity. And it really got my blood boiling in a good way, because with ICE and with Trump, we are dealing with the zealot, the madman. But there is another kind of dystopia too, which is, let's remove all feelings. We don't want any disruption to commerce. So we're just going to get you locked in these boxes. And I think that picture of automated responses to human feelings is one of the many reasons that I hate AI, because it is currently in the hands of people who want the society of THX 1138. They just want to keep us in our boxes, and they don't want us to interact with one another. So getting angry at the movie theater because George Lucas and Walter Murch accurately predicted 55 years ago exactly what would be happening now was strangely cathartic. It was like, yes, these are challenges. We know them. These are warnings. Let's listen, and let's, look behind the curtain and see who wants us to use this technology and why.
Yeah. No, that's powerful stuff. I'm glad you shared that there. It turns out art has meaning. It's really weird. It's really weird to think that art has meaning.
It does.
It does. Anyways, here's Bruce Springsteen with Born in the USA.
Yeah. So thanks for letting me get that off my chest. And it ended up being, yes, good to be out in public with humans. And got better from there.
Indeed. Well, there's where we are. There's our state of mind as we talk Star Wars today. But we know you out there are probably in the same spot. So that's why we're happy we're all gathered here live if you're watching on YouTube or listening or watching later on. We got some more Star Wars news. We're going to continue the conversation about Maul, Shadow Lord, and discuss the neo-noir aspect of, but also, Joseph, get Jennifer's opinion on Maul as well.
That is right. I'm very excited to hear Jennifer's thoughts and opinions on Maul. So they released a lot last week. First, they released a warning that they were going to be releasing this at all, which was great to give people a heads up. There it was the teaser trailer, of course. There was the poster. There's also a pretty in-depth article on StarWars.com. So we're going to chat a little bit about the trailer, but then we're going to dive into some actual quotes from the article as well that maybe not as many people have read. So we're going to start with big picture reactions. Ken and I did get to talk about it a little bit. But Jennifer, are you excited for this Maul show and for more Maul? And if so, why?
I was not, like, when this was released, I told you guys off there. I was like, this timing, it's a little sus. And so when it was released, I didn't watch it. Like I said, I'm really trying really hard to study. And so forgive me, everyone. I'm going to be like your aunt who doesn't know much about Star Wars today. You're going to have to explain some things to me. Because honestly, I just was like, I'll come back to it. And now I'm coming back to it. And what was surprising was the reaction online. That's always kind of my gauge of where we're going. How am I going to respond to this? And the unanimous reaction was love from all different corners of the fandom, which was interesting to me. And people were saying, like, this is incredible. This is what we've been waiting for. And I knew it was going to be good. And I watched it 10, 15 minutes ago. And I was like, wow, this is really, really good. It reminds me of the Bad Batch, right? That tone of the Bad Batch, the seriousness, the gravitas of the Bad Batch. And it's cinematic. I think that Star Wars animation is always top notch. And I feel like that's kind of like, that's the future of Star Wars, I feel right now. And I think that this show is bringing people together, which is exciting. I don't know what it means though. I don't know.
The love or the show or the trailer?
The trailer. I'm like, oh shoot. I got to catch up. I got to study.
Yeah, there are no
Like-
right
like-
or wrong answers, and it can be it's a conversation, not a quiz. There's no secret scoreboard. I'm like,
oh my gosh, you guys.
Jen's blue book essay on the themes of the Maul trailer. That's not what we're doing here.
I need my Quizlet. That's what, for those of you guys in college, it's Quizlet.
Quizlets.
Like, yeah, it's
I do.
really helpful.
Didn't that guy get cut in half? Anti-Jen, according to Obi-Wan Jacoby.
I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
There you go.
So well, Ken. So we got a chance to talk about it
Okay.
on Friday.
Mhm.
But I wanted to be sure to ask you, kind of why you're excited for this show, or why you're excited for Maul himself. Do you consider yourself like, I'm a Maul guy?
Yeah.
I am staring up. Yeah, I'm staring up. Oh, are you talking? Wait, was that Jen or Ken?
No, it was
sorry.
Ken. It was Ken. It was
Okay. No, it's okay.
But
Ken and Jen in the morning. I'm staring up at my sideshow Maul figure, one of the only sideshows I have on display. I've grown to really love Maul, and I was part of the, oh yeah, man, he's pretty cool, he's badass. Why he die so fast? That was me in 1999. But I do love everything about him. But I was part of the Spider Legs crowd that has just come to really appreciate what they have done with the character and what they could explore with the character. I shouted again, not only some of the stuff we talked about on Friday, but our buddy Alex, of course, Alex Molly Star Wars Explained. Alex, I thought, had a great angle on a theme of fighting evil with evil and what lessons can be learned from that, because Maul is in this real kind of understandable spot sometimes. You know, you're looking at him, you're like, you're so close. It's like when you see a clip of a podcaster in Austin, Texas, so close to getting to the truth, so close to seeing the error of their ways, and they can't do it, and they pull back and they fall back and they lean into the grift. I think I'm excited for this series because of what they've done with Rebels, what they did with Star Wars Resistance, what they did with the Clone Wars, which is using animation to just not only lean into the wildest of their own imaginations as creators, but to use that medium to really get political. We say all the time, Andor's great, love Andor, and it's stark and it's served up to you. Bad Batch might be even harder politically at times. Mm-hmm. And I think you have a chance to do that with the same people behind this series, the same people who want to not just tell a story with this popular character, but tell a story in a powerful and poignant way. Brought up a comment earlier. The show was obviously written and recorded, put together years ago, but Molly's saying, hey, props to Sam Witwer for speaking out against ICE, or more Disney and Star Wars actors follow suit. That's the kind of energy that I think Witwer could bring and has brought, and the team can bring to using this character in this series to explore a wide range of themes and reflect it back on what's going on in the world. Fancy words to say, I think this will have a lot of meaning.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with Professor Smart Things here. I saw Natalie Portman said something this weekend. Yes, she did. She wore the Be Good button and made it a good presentation. Jen, not Ken, Jen, do you consider yourself a Maul fan? Have you always liked the character? Are you excited for the character himself?
Oh, Spider Legs. He does whatever Spider Legs. I love this. That was what won me over, is when he was at his lowest. I liked that. And it was all because of Sam Witwer's performance, that this character is drama. I like that. And I think that's what makes it exciting. One of the things about the trailer that I didn't get a chance to go back and rewatch it was, I was like, wait, is he the good guy? That's a simple thing, right? Should I be rooting for him? And that's what Maul always does for me, is when he's doing things that I know that are not good, I somehow still find myself rooting for him. And I don't know what that is. Is it that I identify with him kind of like being an underdog? Perhaps. I don't know, but I need to go back and rewatch this trailer a few more times. Maybe I'll learn something today with this discussion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think with Phantom Menace, we didn't know a lot about him, and I think people gravitated to him because he looked cool and he had that silky voice, and it was sort of the promise of more. Ooh, why does he want revenge? Why does he frame it that way? What does he think the Jedi did to him? But then ever since he comes back, he's like, how can you not feel bad for this insane guy with spider legs eating rats? You know, his only friend is it's a little asshole snake. How do you not feel bad for him? Like, how did you survive? Well, for 10 years, I was just really mad about a bad thing that happened to me. So I think he has been well poised as a sympathetic character who doesn't have a good solution. On the Friday we were talking about, he is kind of like the classic meme of I joined the leopards, eating faces party, and then Darth Sidious the leopard ate my face. And in this trailer, I feel like he's got all these great anti-fascist statements. He's like pounding the table and going, "This is what is unacceptable about the leopards eat your face party." But we also kind of know at the end of that speech is going to become, and that's why you should join my new leopards eat your face party. Because he can't let go of his hate, he doesn't actually have better answers. And I think that's what I'm so intrigued by in this show is in that trailer, he's saying so many great things that you want to pump your fist and agree with, but ultimately that he's diagnosing the disease, but he doesn't have a cure to offer. He just has a different version of the disease to offer ultimately. And watching, it's almost like we get to be Devin, right? The audience of like making some good points. I'm angry. Maybe I want to go along with Maul. Maybe I don't. It'll be really interesting to see kind of who we end up sort of siding with or feeling represented by.
Anti-Gen Devin is the Jedi Padawan that we're seeing in the trailer.
Is that like the Darth Talon looking character? No.
The Twi'lek.
But that's only lighting. Yeah, that's only lighting.
Okay, got it.
Yes. Jeannie from Tahini says Sisyphus. Yes, Maul is definitely very, very Darth Sisyphus, which is fun to say. There's also a noir vibe, which we called this, Maul Goes Noir, this episode. Not just with there's the aesthetic of the dark rain-slicked city with the neon lights, but there's also the description in the article about some of our other main characters are a cop and his robot buddy. We're trying to keep the balance in the city still being democratic, but also having a lot of crime lords. And this is all just kind of classic noir stuff of rolling around in that darkness in a corrupt city. So, Ken, what are you thinking about the noir vibes and setting? Are you happy with that? Why do you think it's there? What are your reactions?
Thrilled and somewhat surprised by it in the sense of just, we know this is when we hear about Maul in this timeline, underworld, smugglers, criminal syndicates, all those things we know about him. And I don't know, from whatever reason that sends my mind to another area, a genre. I don't even know how to explain where I think it would go, but to come back and be like, as we joked on Friday, the rain's going to fall and Maul's in a diner talking about his life. Like it kind of works to me. And you I think understand the makings of good noir things even more than I do. I didn't spend a lot of time watching it. But it just to me is it's a great way to go through this underworld. And it's a fun Star Wars thing, right? Let's play with genres. So we'll see how heavy they lean into it. And as we joked on Friday, I hope they lean into it very heavily. I hope it's very, very present. But I just think it's a good tool to explore what's going on in this actual criminal underworld and what's going on from the powers above and the people on the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really fascinated with it because it is always a way to examine morality. Even with the Hays Code noir films, we're often a place to say, like, there isn't a sympathetic character. Everyone is sort of giving in to their worst impulses, either greed or a kind of immoral, unhealthy version of lust, because I don't think lust by itself is unhealthy, but noir often presented like, this is not going to get you anywhere good. This is not good for other people in your life. And the Hays Code demanded that you could show those things and then people would have to be punished. But it was still like, you're watching most of the film and you're just sort of like, there's no hero doing the right thing. It's just a bunch of people making bad decisions. That's one kind of noir. And then another kind of noir is the sort of the Raymond Chandler version where the city is pretty corrupt. There's a character who is very honest about the corruption, but very alone in fighting it. And it's presented again and again by, you could just bend your morality and everything would kind of go smoothly for everybody in the moment, but you would be sacrificing, the big picture and your own soul. And with a cop character in the middle of a corrupt city, I'm really hoping that they lean into that part of noir of like, Brander Lawson should probably just arrest Maul, but Maul could help his city. So will he? Is like, that's some great wrestling with morality that, you know, Noir isn't just take out the third light and make everything real shadowy. It's those questions, you know. Jen, how do you feel about Noir as an aesthetic, as a storytelling style, and Maul going there?
I think that you answered why this felt really exciting. So one of the things that I've always been fascinated by was that, what was it? The Star Wars, was it Underworld 1313? Which one was that? Remember that?
Yeah.
The game that almost happened.
Yeah, it was the game, but even before that, it was like what the Star Wars TV show was going to be about, right? Like it was all this concept art. And that was the most intriguing thing for me when it came out, because it did have such a huge like noir vibe to it. And we've gotten, you know, elements of that, certainly in the Kenobi show, even with Andor a little bit. But this is like, it's set in it. And what gives it more depth is exactly what you talked about. Like you said, it's not just the lighting. It's not just like this cool landscape, flashing neon lights. Like there is the storyline that is classic noir. And that is really exciting to me. And it's why it's going to be more like a Bad Batch. I don't want to say it's going to be a more mature, but yeah, I'm sure it's going to have teeth. The show's going to have teeth.
Yeah, it seems like it has to. Yeah. A lot of great thoughts in the chat about Noir. Let's see. This is from James Farley, who says the Noir angle is intriguing because a lot of those films have protagonists who get pushed around by the world and often don't have a lot of control, which in a way does sound like Maul. But at the same time, that doesn't really sound like a crime boss. Like, yeah, Maul is an aspiring crime boss. So, and I think he wants, you know, he just wants power. But how does he sell that to other people is really really interesting. Yes, and a lot of other people are discussing noir films, much like mentioning the film Suddenly with Frank Sinatra, which I'm a big fan of, and it's very easy to find because the right slaps. Anyway, at some point we can have Noir Center. Moving on a little bit from the noir, we can keep discussing it, but we talked a little bit, you know, about the sort of what the show might be about, what the trailer is about. Ken, do you have any other thoughts on like what the theme statement of the trailer is?
Yeah, I think on Friday I mentioned one of the ones that jumps out to me, and it's both through Maul and what the character of Devin Izara is potentially going through, which is you know, a Padawan that has survived. We may see her master in the series, and a lot of the speculation about that lizard-like Jedi. Lizard/turtle-like Jedi. I don't know. Might be your master, but it's what they both have expressed to me. What jumps out is this is kind of a show about what happens when the future you want vanishes, and the future that you thought you were either going to have, what you were owed, or what you were heading towards vanishes. And what do you do with that? That's a very unsettling spot to be in. Dealt with that last year myself, where everything is removed beneath your feet. And how do you react to that? Do you react to that first with sadness, confusion, anger, bitterness? Do you move forward? Do you change yourself? Do you lean harder into who you are? And I just think those kind of statements were jumping out to me in this series. And another reason of just like, it isn't just, to me, cool, Maul's coming back and another Jedi Order 66 survivor or something like that. I mean, that's maybe on the surface what it is, but you have a good two potentially great characters to explore that theme as well as many others.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing that I took away from it is this rousing feeling that the Empire must be fought, that the Empire can be fought, but because of the nature of who Maul is, left with the question of, but how? And will Devin be seduced? Will Devin go along with a way of fighting it that won't ultimately serve her? Which is really interesting, too, because I think it does get into questions that Star Wars plays with often, and very recently Andor, of, you know, how do you fight in a way that you don't lose your soul? But I think that's just such an interesting trap with Maul, to hear him in this trailer saying, fist pumping, rousing, we can break these chains that are unfair. And hearing in the snippets of dialogue from Devin, her sort of like doubt of, you know, of what's she going to do. It frames it really in a really interesting way that makes me really excited for that relationship, and wondering how much, even though it's called Maul, that Devin will be the main character, because she's the one who's capable of change. Jen, I know that you said you didn't feel like you had a ton of time to study it and not ready to write your thesis statement.
Yeah.
But what feeling did you get to come away with from the trailer in terms of what this show is about or what you want it to be about?
Well, I understood. I loved that, and I don't remember the line, I'm paraphrasing, but basically it's like we've barely been surviving, right? Like
Mhm.
this is not a
Yes.
life. And
Yes.
I was like, wow, that is really powerful, and a lot of people can identify that. And like you're talking about, Ken, like the like what future, what hope do they have? And when people have no hope, they turn to desperate measures. They turn to, figuring out a way to make things happen for themselves. And so I respect that with Maul to some extent, because he's like, we've been wronged. And they have. Okay. But it's like somebody mentioned the stranger, and that's such a great thing, which is why I really liked the character of Chimere, where I'm like, ooh, this does seem like a tantalizing offer with a very charismatic person. Do I want to take their hand and go on this journey with them? Well, if I'm desperate enough, maybe, right? Maybe. And that's why I left, where I was like, shoot, okay, I know he's the bad guy, air quotes, but is he? Is he? I don't know. That's
Yeah.
why I love the Acolyte. It's why I love the Acolyte, right? And I've talked about that before. Oh, this is the dark side of me coming out.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what this. I like that is what this show is doing. I feel like, at least from the trailer, is my opinion of it. It is really making space to make that question the key thing. Like the Chimere thing, I think was fascinating. It's such a great character, and I have mentioned before, like the entire show was kind of set up as this: we're gonna give the information out slowly, and we're gonna let the audience kind of decide how much do you blame the Jedi, which Jedi, how much do you blame the witches for this tragedy? How could it have been avoided? So Chimere was kind of offering these whataboutisms about the Jedi, which I think the character is just utterly hypocritical. That line of, I faced my darkness by just going nuts and killing all the people I want. Have you faced yours? And have you faced yours sounds really good, but it's just sort of like, that's, yeah. But my point is, Chimere's messing with this. How much are we tempted by the dark side? Because sometimes the philosophy sounds really believable. Was in this whole combination of mysterious thoughts where we're picking through the morality of it. And I feel like this show is going to be different because it's almost like it's just that Chimere. Does the dark side saying something that sounds good? Do we believe it? It has such a laser focus on it. I'm really excited for it. One other thing that I want to talk about, because people are saying the magic word of Kenobi. Professor Smart Thing says, who is he, Maul, if he doesn't hate Kenobi? I really do want this show to deal with, does Maul believe Kenobi's alive? And I kind of feel like he doesn't want Kenobi to be dead, because then one of his few reasons to exist is gone, just to kill him. So far, what we've been told is that this happens on this one sunken crater planet or a city of Janix that I think Maul, because he's wanted by the Empire, probably feels kind of trapped in. So I hope, when he is trying to make Devin his new apprentice, I hope he spends his whole tale about this awful Kenobi that, like, you've heard these hero stories about this Kenobi. Let me tell you who the real Kenobi is. Let me tell you what he did to me. And I would love to see that he is just totally still obsessed with Kenobi, but honestly feels kind of like trapped like a rat in a cage on Janix, and he can't go zipping around the galaxy trying to find Kenobi yet, is my desire. Any other Kenobi thoughts, Ken?
Yeah. Kenobi's got to hang over the show in some way, not in the sense that we need to see Kenobi, or that they would definitely, of course, would not be. But I love what you're talking about, of just like that it's almost sweet. He's got to believe Kenobi's alive. I've got to hold on to that belief. Otherwise, I'm gone. Like Addie said, who is he without that Kenobi hate? So I love that it would just kind of hang over it like a shadow. I know he's the Shadow Lord, but it'd be present in a lot of his actions. That's something we all struggle with. I've got some folks in my life that I've tried to move away from my bitterness towards them. Or my desire to always publicly maybe prove that they were the ones who caused a lot of damage and not the other way around. And that is not healthy. It's pointless and keeps you back. So again, I feel you, Jen, on looking at Maul and going, again, what answers can he provide, but what can I learn learn to do differently than what he's done is what the value is to me.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole show is the meme of the worst guy made a really good point.
Yes. Right.
We're gonna dive in a little bit more on the StarWars.com article. Here's the basic log line they shared. Star Wars Maul Shadowlord picks up after the events of Star Wars: The Clone Wars for a pulpy adventure that finds Maul plotting to rebuild his criminal syndicate on a planet untouched by the Empire. There he crosses paths with a disillusioned young Jedi Padawan who may just be the apprentice he is seeking to aid him in his relentless pursuit for revenge. So in that blurb, they are straight up telling us that the plot is 2 stories. Maul rebuilding the criminal empire and getting a new apprentice. So Ken, how do you think those 2 stories tie together, or how do you want them to tie together?
I think a lot of it has to do with Maul seeking community. He just wants some friends. And
mutual aid. Darth Maul, mutual aid.
Yeah. And I think, building this empire is a way of power. It's his identity at this point. He's tried before and we know he might try again. So I think there's, again, I'm joking to say there's some kind of sweetness to it, but just like, sometimes that's the only connection you get is those you're forced to hang around you, That's your work buddies. Hey guys, let's get a beer. And everyone's like, oh, Maul's here. And it's a false sense of security. It's a piece that's nothing but an illusion that he's trying to put together around him. And combine that with getting an apprentice also has to do the same thing to me. I mean, we got the what we see is a Maul tea party, which he's got that vibes before. We saw it with Ezra. Like there's those moments in Rebels where you're like, again, Darth Sisyphus, you're almost there. You're almost seeing the light. You're almost seeing the errors of the ways. There's off ramps to take, and he continues to not take it willingly. But a lot of it just has to do with feeling disconnected, feeling lonely. Again, this is a character, as we know through expanded storylines of in the modern age, that feels like why one of the greatest Force sensitives in the galaxy. I've got skills, I got power. I got everything you need, and I was ignored by the Jedi. And they didn't come find me. Everyone's complaining about the Jedi taking kids. I wanted them to take me. Why didn't they take me? And I think that's an interesting way to start this exploration with him trying to connect with someone else. More than just if it's going to be the seduction, it's going to be the stuff we were talking about, the chimera of it all. But also, Maul wants a friend.
Yeah, I really agree with that, and that's why I've been excited about this show since they announced it, because of that. He wanted Savage Opress as his apprentice, powerful, but also he wanted a brother to not be alone. Even when he was in Spider-Legs mode, he's like, I'll hang out with a snake. And the Ezra thing is really sad. It's played well and it's written well to just be like, he is using and manipulating Ezra, but he just really wants that apprentice. So I think them just putting in the blurb, basically, Maul wants 2 things. He's been trained that he has no value unless he has power. So he wants to rebuild his empire to prove to himself he has power. He wants power. The other thing he wants is companionship. He doesn't want to be alone. He can only be honest with himself about one of those things. He can be honest with himself about wanting power. He can be proud of himself to manipulate a doubtful Padawan to be a tool of his. He can pat himself on the back for that. But I'm so fascinated to see how much we're going to get into his psychology that we from the outside can all see, like, yes, you're manipulating Devin to be your Padawan so you can get power. But we can all see it's because you're bleeping lonely. And will the character ever get to a point where he has to face that truth that I want power and I can be honest with myself about it, and I want to not be alone, and I can't be honest with myself about that. I really hope they dive into it. Jen, what are your thoughts on wanting both a criminal empire and a buddy?
Yeah, it's interesting where I do think that that's what made the whole Ezra thing so fascinating, was that it did seem kind of genuine, like he wanted a buddy. And I think he is a type of person that he's craving companionship, but he is a toxic individual and he is broken. And Devin may fall for it or get manipulated, but I'm sure that it will all unravel. I like this comment. I feel like oops, wrong one with this one. Darksiders, what if this time the dark side, but good things happen? Smash cut to only bad things. We all have that friend, right? Who's like just making one bad choice after another. And you're like, dude, trust me, this is not going to end well. And it happens bad again. Oh gosh. Yeah. It just, he's our friend. Darth Maul is our friend, but he's making bad choices, kids.
You remember the old Saturday Night Live commercial, Bad Idea Jeans?
All right. I got next. They're shirts for kids. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. For people who are not obsessed with Saturday Night Live in like exactly 1989, it was like a very like artsy Guess Jeans ad for a jean company called Bad Idea Jeans. It was just a couple of people just saying, yeah, I think I'm going to do this truly dumb thing that obviously isn't going to work out. And everybody else going, yeah, Bad Idea Jeans. That's what this is. All right. Moving on, we got a couple of super chats that we can grab if you want, Ken, or we can move on.
Catching up. We brought up the Obi-Wan Jacoby one at the start of the show. Snargard Gad, as I always say wrong. He said, "Is the website down?" But he came back and said, "Oh no, it false alarm. It came up." Addie is watching in a train station right now. Shout out to the ForceCenter crew for being generally awesome and helping provide entertainment when my train is delayed. We are here to serve. Then we got some Cowboy fans put this one up. I just want to address it. By the way, guys, hope everyone's staying warm here in the U.S. It's very hard. I had to turn the heater on this morning. It got down to 56.
Oh, no. Hey, no.
I had to up my dog from a T-shirt to a hoodie. She's in a hoodie right now. Please send your prayers.
Oh, it's rough out there. My husband's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and he was like, look at this weather. It was like, 1 degree or something. I'm like, oh, I was literally wrapped in a blanket and multiple layers, and it was 60. I'm a wimp.
It's all relative.
I
it's
know.
all relative. Yes. And also, no insulation in our homes here in Los Angeles, which is a little different than the old Midwest.
I have a home built in 1920 that some parts of it was moved here to Burbank in 44, and there's some parts of the wall that were reconnected, and I can see through them. So I have no insulation.
What?
At all. Yeah.
Oh,
on a certain day when the sun shines, you look like, oh, okay, there's the half-inch hole in the wall.
They didn't push those two Legos together.
They did. Yeah, it's like the Legos came apart. Also, PLD here from PLD Project. Excited to see this, the opposite dynamic of Anakin and Ahsoka, talking about the Maul series, and obligatory Hondo watch. Hondo's always potential for him and our buddy Ken Plum, who is cold right now. Joseph, Jen, Ken sending support and
thanks,
howdy. There you
Oh
go.
my gosh, wait, Molly. Oops. Oh, sorry. Wrong one. Molly, I saw your story last night. Your power was out, but the way that she lit it looked so cozy. That was actually one story where I was like, oh, I want to have my power go out. Because she had all these beautiful candles and lights. Like, it just looked really nice. And you made the best of it.
That's why everyone hates Californians. I want my power to go out too. I want to put up some Yankee candles.
You should see when our power has gone out here, which for some reason happens a lot in my area. Like I'm like freaking out. My kids are like, the TV, the streaming, but oh, it's a mess.
That's great. Molly does agree. It was kind of
okay.
Nice. There you go.
It can be. It can be. All right, we are moving on in our discussion here. So here's a description of the structure and the pacing of the show and the style. With 10 episodes arriving over 5 weeks, Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord will take a serialized approach to Star Wars storytelling. The show is highly serialized, very connected all the way through, executive producer and supervising director Brad Rao says. And it's a super fast-paced series, adds executive producer Matt Machenovitz. We wanted to create an action-packed thrill ride, something that had the rush of a roller coaster. So we do a lot of homages to the classic serials of the day, which gave George Lucas the inspiration for Star Wars. We've got the perfect character to drive us through this in Maul. So I'm on record about loving the Pulpy, the adventure serial, that structure and that intent of one problem is resolved and you're right into the next one, roots of Star Wars. Jen, what do you like about returning to those roots, and why do you think they're spending time to promote it that way in this article?
I think it's helpful for people like me where I literally was like, as I said, bring me the Quizlet for this because I'm like, all right, what has happened since then? And like, what should I remember from Rebels, from the Clone Wars? Like, honestly, it's overwhelming. But the show looks so cool. I don't want to get bogged down with timeline or past things and take away from my viewing experience. So there's something kind of nice about it being like a classic serial adventure where I'm hoping I can just ride Maul's coattails and get through this okay. And I can look up what I need to look up. So I mean, that was the appeal of like The Mandalorian, I feel, was every episode. It was like a new adventure. And look, this show is for the fans. 100%. This is for Star Wars hardcore fans. Will it bring in new people? Maybe, sure, yes. But I believe that this is for people that love the Clone Wars, that love the Bad Batch, that are ride or die for Star Wars animation. And I think it's great. But I'm going to have to get caught up.
Kenobi started with the sort of previously on the prequels. And I wonder if they would do the same or even just, a week ahead of time of just kind of like a previously on Maul.
Yeah.
Because I think it is the kind of show that looks the right kind of cool that might just bring in people who haven't given Star Wars a chance in a while or haven't given animated shows a chance. And I do hope that they open it up for them to, be able to catch up. And there's going to be a million great videos from Alex and Molly and explainer lists about Maul's twisted journey to this point. But I agree with you that it is definitely building on all of the animated stuff that are done. So it's very all in for all in fans, but I hope they open it up as well. Ken, what do you like about returning to the adventure serial roots and promoting it that way?
I think it's just fun, and I'm with you. I know we say it; it's a ForceCenter bingo card kind of thing of the pulpy and the whiz bang adventure. But I think it's a key ingredient to Star Wars. Doesn't mean it always has to be present in front and center. But I think that works for me coming into this series, and I think the power of knowing it too might have a little bit too. They're just probably maybe proud of that. Maybe it's a choice they made they enjoy and want to share. I think there's a little bit of pumping and priming for the audience too about, and we'll talk about the release schedule, but hey, here's what's coming your way. That sometimes works. Not similar, but not exactly one to one, but leading into season 7 of Game of Thrones, everyone involved was like, hey, get ready. This season moves very fast. And everyone went, yay. And then the season went very fast, including Gendry ran really fast. And people were like, I don't like this. And it was like, well, okay, that's fair. That's my least favorite season too. But like, they did tell you, we're like, hey, brace yourself. The story goes very fast. So I think there's a little bit of here's what's coming kind of vibe to me. But I was thinking, I think there's also some pride in what they've done. Like, oh my gosh, this is cool. We pulled off a pulpy Star Wars show.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it because I think in our sort of all-in Star Wars spaces, adventure serials are known to be a part of Star Wars DNA. But I think it's kind of like an underappreciated and under-discussed part of Star Wars in the general population. And that's been the case for a long time. I remember in 2002, when the Attack of the Clones title came out, and granted, that was a time where lots of people were negative coming off of the Phantom Menace, but the Attack of the Clones title came out, and people were like, what's this corny crap? And I'm like, it's the DNA of Star Wars is this corny crap. It's Flash Gordon, that's
Yeah.
So I kind of like any time that they lean back into like, yeah, this is where a lot of the inspiration came from, along with the myth in the Kurosawa and all the other great influences. So there's just that part of it to me. For me, it's fun storytelling to be like, okay, we finished this chase, and now we're standing on a safe piece of ground. Now the ground collapses, and just that sort of go energy can be really fun because it can feel like life of just like one problem after another. Energy is fun. Perhaps the most interesting thing to me is I'm glad they put it in the interview, because there are definitely parts of Star Wars that have felt lately like a little bit more of that adventure serial pacing. I think Rise of Skywalker was more like that. I think Skeleton Crew was a little bit more like that. But as we've discussed a lot a lot of the live action shows have focused on incredibly depressed characters who don't like to express themselves through speaking. And I like all those shows, but I think it just happened to be that we got depressed Boba Fett. We got Din, who does not talk about his feelings. We got Obi-Wan, who's just busy having nightmares in caves. You know, we got a lot of the main characters, even Andor, just like pensive, and especially that first season. Am I doing the right thing? Should I even be doing this? Really guarded with their emotions. So the idea of like a violent, angry, lonely man is just gonna speed through this fast show is just like it's variety.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot, and yeah, when that stuff that whiz bang is present, it really speaks to me, and that's not a shot across the bow at Andor, because hot damn, I love that show, but yeah, I think sometimes that's what I love Skeleton Crew so much. So if it's in that vein, but done with the serious badassery of Maul, it's gonna be a fun combo.
And they say specifically that Maul is the right character to drive us through this show. So Jen, for you, why do you think Maul is the right character to drive a fast-paced Star Wars show?
I think because we already are familiar with who the character is, so they can just kind of hit the ground running, even if you only know the character from the prequels, which you might be a little surprised that he's back. But so that's creates a shorthand. Loves the drama, right? He loves the drama. He can be kind of humorous at times. And he's the right person to go along this journey with. I think that's what makes it fun. He naturally just has like energy, and not to say that all of our other heroes and characters don't, but Kenobi, it was a slower saunter at times. This will not be that.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. Ken, why do you feel Maul is the right character for a fast-paced show?
I look at his debut, man. You know, look where we first see him. I brought up the comment earlier from Gaz Nottingham. He said I showed some work colleagues the Maul trailer. They didn't watch the animated series, but were impressed. They did, however, all question how Maul was alive when he died in the movie 26 years ago.
That's awesome.
And that is a reality that we still live with. I remember finishing watching Solo, and someone very close to me turned to me and said, "I love that movie." So this happens before the Phantom Menace? No. So that's something they're going to deal with. A previously on would work. Yeah, no, I think there's Maul. There's that, Jen, you're touching on some of the things that Maul does bring potentially to the table. He's got a certain wit and charisma about him, at least his character that's developed. But in Phantom Menace, like, he's leaping off the speeders. He's got a double-sided lightsaber. He's flipping around. He is whiz-bang himself. He definitely represents a lot of that. And I think they have correctly leaned into those aspects of him over the years. So to put it in a series and to make it concentrated, I think that works. I think a lot of times through the lens of time, you think more of the quieter Maul moments, the one or two Serafinovich lines with Palpatine and Phantom Menace, and it's more dour, serious Maul, and he's got that. So I'm not saying he's a laugh a minute, and we got a sitcom coming. I'm just saying for him to lead this series, it makes sense to me that all aspects, including just kind of the pulpy nature of him, he is nightmare incarnate. Like that's pulpy stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, his exterior presentation is he wants to play everything silky smooth, and even in the trailer, we get the silky smooth voice. We get the T with the lightsaber there, but I think we also know he's just a raging cauldron of drama, and I think that creates this interesting, fast-paced tension of like, oh well, I'd really like it if you did this, and then it's suddenly like, I was abandoned. Starts cutting stuff. He's just like, he's such a volatile character. Like the silky smooth is really fun because he doesn't actually have the Jedi patience that he's like pretending to have. Right? He's just so full of drama and anger that I hope that a lot it's that anger of like, I'm trying to play things cool and smart, but I'm just so angry and lonely and pissed off. I hope that propels the action. Jen, how do you feel about 2 episodes a week?
Did they say are they 30 minutes each?
They didn't say anything about that.
Didn't say.
That'll be interesting. If it is 30 minutes each, then that would make sense why they're doing 2 episodes a week, right? I don't know, this like whole streaming thing, I don't know what works for the platforms, right? To release it all at once, to release it once a week. I like the once a week model. It makes it easier for me to digest it. But as you've talked about, Joseph, like sometimes they do these cliffhanger things where it really would feel unnatural to not go into the second episode. So I don't know what they've got up their sleeve with this.
Yeah, very curious with just calling out the adventure serials if they're doing actual cliffhangers, and each episode is here's our two-parter. It's all part of the same compact story, because they said it's one compact story. But if it is like, this is the episode where Maul's gonna bust into the cop shop and try to steal something, and there's a cliffhanger where he's Devin almost gives up on him, kind of thing, and that would be really interesting to me. My main thing is I want the companies to communicate with the artists, and I want the episodes to be built ahead of time so that they're good for the way that the audience receives them, because that's better for everybody. But Andor ended up working out great for me. I think I enjoyed it better having a full 3 episodes, but it was one arc. That was the thought. A complete thought, a complete meal that's part of a whole. But I don't. So I'm really hoping that these 2 episodes kind of feel like that it isn't just kind of like 2 unconnected episodes, but like each week is still a thought. These 2 episodes are kind of connected, is what my hope is. Ken?
I like the idea. I'm assuming they're going to be on the shorter end of things with more classic animation timelines, not necessarily 22 minutes on the dot, but in that range. Bad Batch was in there as well. So I like that. But I'm with both of you too. You're saying things not only what we said before, but I echo it now of just like, I worry sometimes like Andor did work and ended up working for me as a fan. As a podcaster, we know it was a little bit difficult, and Tony even addressed that. But they shouldn't worry about us. But it worked. But to hear that like the whole team was like, oh, that's what they're doing. Well, we didn't write nor create the show with that in mind. That could create some sort of issues. So I haven't heard anything either way from the team behind Maul. And also there's kind of for a time crunch, I'm with you, Jen. 1 a week works for me, but hey, we're also old. Okay. I waited for my Cheers. My Seinfeld came every Thursday at 9. Like, all right, I get it. They've got metrics behind it, whether we like it or not. But just as a fan though, I love spending, like, it was so fun to spend so much time in the Bad Batch world for a couple months. And now, even with Andor, it was like, it's Andor month. Now we're going to have Maul month. Like, give me more months. Give me more months. But I'm excited.
David points out 5 weeks means you can squeeze them all into 1 month's Disney Plus subscription. So maybe they are just, let's embrace the people who are going to subscribe and dump.
That's very smart.
I don't like this model. I'm sorry. I feel a rant coming. I was just thinking about like my kids when they're watching Netflix, and part of the problem is like the content that they're finding, right? Like they're watching Molang. You guys you don't know what this is, or Tom and Friends. Tom and Friends is an animated show based on an iPad game.
MySpace? Oh, okay.
It's not so bad. It's kind of like a sitcom with a cat. But it's like 10, 15 minutes, and they go from episode to episode to episode. It just like goes on a loop, right? But with something like this, and when I'm watching that trailer, which feels like a little movie, right? Give us the time to digest it. I feel like, unfortunately, the way that this model is, and Addie mentioned this, like this part 1, part 2 on Netflix, like it forces us to like digest content, air quotes, so quickly, it doesn't let it sit. And it's upsetting, because part of it is also like acknowledgement that you're not going to really be fully watching it. You might be on your phone. You might get up and go grab a snack, right? Like I don't like it. And this is not a criticism, obviously, of Maul or like of, Lucasfilm or whatever. It's just the way that it is. But I don't like it. I'm planting my flag as old auntie. I don't like it.
The reports from many creators working with Netflix that they want a 2-screen experience. They want things explained multiple times, right, for people to pay attention on their phone. Yeah, no, I do not like that, and I far prefer a slow drip of episodes so that you have time to digest and think, as people are talking about in the comments. It would be funny if if they built it for a 2-screen experience and every once in a while Maul turned and like knocked on the camera and like boom, 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 boom. Do you need a recap? Are you paying attention?
That's what we need.
Well, and then the side of it too of making things part 1, part 2 is getting 2 seasons for the price of 1 for your staff is also BS too.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow.
but and this to me seems like okay, it's somewhere in between, because if some of the episodes are like some of them are 36 minutes and some of them are 18, I don't super love that either, where it feels like I've been waiting all week and I didn't really get a full meal. So I got my fingers crossed that 2 episodes will have the same sort of balance that I think Andor did for me, the second season of Andor. But I don't, in general, I don't like, and I still do think this is part of the let's just shotgun it effect of like, we'll put our backs into Maul for a month and then it's done. Like,
right.
And you know how much of it is even about advertising spend of like, we don't want to advertise for more than a month, so get it going.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, moving on to a discussion of the animation technique. Here's what the in-depth article said. Cinematography, lighting, and VFX director Joel Aaron really took it up a notch with going back to the practical ways of capturing brush strokes by painting them on glass, shooting them, then strategically placing them in shots, says executive producer and vice president of Lucasfilm Animation, Athena Portillo. He even went back to establishing matte paintings on canvas. There's always different challenges with every show that we do, but this one in particular raised the bar. We also wanted the animation body mechanics and the facial to be more fluid from our previous work, and animation director Keith Kellogg worked closely with CG and our international animation team to upgrade the performances of our main characters. So Ken, what's exciting to you in all of that?
I'm excited that you and I and Jen, we get to say every week, this show's so beautiful. We get to say it over and over and over again. Just to see where we were when the Clone Wars series movie showed up, and there were a lot of like, what the hell's going on with this? And hey, you got to start somewhere. You got to walk before you run. And I think that just also shows the amount of care and the importance and the humans behind it. And I'm sure there's a lot of technology being used in this kind of thing, but it is from the heart. It is from art, from the center of someone's soul. So I'm excited for just all that. And again, that teaser trailer just looks amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be calling it beautiful every week, and then I'm going to be probably repeating the words tactile and visceral and maybe organic. But I think that is what you get from things like let's physically paint on glass. No animation quite matches the erraticness of physically doing that. The matte painting, it's bringing that sort of organic humanity and making sure that we feel it. And you know, the computer animation is a tool, and they've gotten so much humanity within that tool, but having even more of that sense of the tactile and the visceral into the show. I think we respond to that as humans because we sense it, and it matches Maul's energy to just sort of be like, I'm trying to keep everything smooth, but everything's got ragged edges. Everywhere I go is so great. Jen, what are your thoughts on the animation style?
I love this. It's making a statement in this day and age, right, where everything has to be done quickly and cheaper and whatnot. It's artistic. It's art. Wow. And it's going to make it stand out from everything else that's out there. I mean, they don't make them like this anymore, and that's just a fact. And I love this. It's really special, and it's making a statement that they really care about this show, that they are really pulling out all the stops, and they are treating their character right? Like the character of Maul, they're really making it an event, something that cannot be missed. Even if you're not really knowing what the story is about, like visually, you're going to be sucked in like I was when I saw the trailer.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think how cool it looks is another thing that might just actually draw in some different folks who are like, wow, Star Wars can look different. That's cool. All right, moving on to casting. I realized I did not take my time to study, so I am going to get probably some of these last names wrong, and I pre-apologize for that. But here's what they said in the casting announcement. In addition to Sam Witwer as Maul, Gideon Adlin as Devon Izara, Wagner Mora as Brander Lawson, and Richard Iode as Two Boots. Other cast members include Dennis Haysbert as Master Iko Diodaki, Chris Diamantopoulos as Lut E. Vario, Charlie Bushnell is Reilly Lawson, Vanessa Marshall as Rook Cast, David W. Collins as Spybot, AJ Lucasio as Marak, and Steve Blum as Icarus. So, Jen, any of those actors or characters that you are excited to hear about?
Yeah, Wagner Mora. He is so fantastic in everything he does. He was really, really good in Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Donald Glover. Check that out if you haven't. Gideon Adlon is interesting because her mom is Pamela Adlon, who is a great voice actor and actor in general. And I guess her sister is also in that Marty Supreme movie, but she has a different last name that she's going by. But you know what?
Zion?
Yeah,
she's also in the I Love LA.
Yes,
Odessa.
show.
Yeah.
Odessa. Thank you, Odessa. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what she brings, and she's younger. I think she's like she's she's 28. Okay,
She's the older sister. Yeah.
She's the older sister. All right. Well, I'm sure that she's gotten some good tutelage from her mom, who was a great voice in one of the Tinkerbell movie. There's a bunch of Tinkerbell movies, and she's so good in it.
Kick of the hill.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, a lot of great names here.
Yeah. Thank you for the correction, Richard Ayoade. Thank you very much. Yeah, I am a lot of great actors, but I'm most excited about Rook Cast. It's great, of course, to see Vanessa Marshall get to come back, but I'm excited about the character Rook Cast because it is I want to see Maul's relationship with Mandalore, or more Mandalorian's relationship to Maul, because I think we can kind of speed past this sort of like in his Sisyphus life of getting power and losing power. He managed to kind of install himself as the shadow leader of Mandalore. But within that, I feel like there's a story that we haven't spent as much time on, certainly on screen, of what is when Mandalorians believe things, they believe things hard. And there are some Mandalorians who made him their ride or die leader. They made Beskar horns to put on their helmets. And I think in a show that has room to really explore who this guy is and what his relationships are, to have somebody who was very loyal to him show up in a different context, I think could be really emotionally interesting.
No, I think that's a great use, a potential use of the character, and just fun to have some of these names back, including Steve Blum as Icarus. Which does that makes me think that's Bird Guy, Jedi Inquisitor or Inquisitor?
Maybe.
If AJ Lacasio's Marek, and those are the last two. That's interesting. And as we talked about on Friday, everyone's celebrating President Palmer from 24 as potentially a Jedi Master, or as a Jedi Master. It's cool. And him, of course, in Major League, the comedy from 1990. So yeah, I think a fun cast. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I am definitely excited for that weird looking Jedi character, and I'm so excited to learn, is that Devin's former master or a different Jedi, and what that relationship is. The name Iko Diodaki, or however it's going to be pronounced, is really exciting. And yes, Dennis Haysbert, I was very obsessed with 24. I've watched it a lot, and I thought he was fantastic. So I'm excited to see him in Star Wars. Anything else from you, Jen?
No, glad to see Dave Collins, of course.
Yeah, that's true too.
Always love to see him. Yeah, it's a great cast. I'm excited. This is getting me hyped.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Great.
There's the sort of I guess one could imagine that when this was announced, Maul Shadow Lord, this is him bouncing around the underworld all over the galaxy, sort of slowly rebuilding what he had with the Shadow Collective. And it is a kind of fun twist that, like, actually, no, it's almost more like, CSI Janix, where it's just we're locked into this location. At least that's the way they're pitching it. Maybe he leaves within 3 episodes. But right now, these other characters, even Bad Batch jumped around. But this is almost like we're being introduced to the ensemble cast, and like Brander Lawson is one of the main characters. Ken, how are you feeling about that? Because that is just kind of a different structure through the Clone Wars or Bad Batch or Rebels, where We've got our core cast, but they bounce around from place to place. And this is more like, here's everybody in this one location together.
Yeah, and if the show continues beyond season 1, I think we'll start jumping around. But I love it. It was a surprise to me, and I think it works. And we talked about on Friday the cost cutting measure, and I said that in a good way of just like, hey, you got only a certain amount of budget to work with. One location, one design, that kind of works. But I think it's just a great thing. You said CSI Janix, yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that this idea of like who's on this planet before he gets there, what's Maul need to do to take over this planet or do his work on the planet, and how exactly is that local, gumshoe cop, that detective on his trail, gonna work with him or try to get him? It's gonna be fun, and I like it. And we got 10 episodes to explore this world.
Love it. Jen, do you have any thoughts on the sort of one location?
I mean, it's how, you said a story in Boston, you said a story in New York, right? You just stay there. It's unusual for you to bounce around unless it's like Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio type of movie. You know what I mean? Where you're going from place to place. So we're used to it in our live actions, and now we'll do that with animation.
That is great. Any final Maul thoughts, Jen?
No, I'm excited. I'm excited that, we'll be getting more April, right? So what are we in? January? All right. This is going to be really interesting to see the press machine between Mando and Grogu and Maul, because it kind of feels like there's a little bit more energy and excitement around Maul. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're getting real close to Mando and Grogu. So, maybe they should hype up Maul by having Maul do a commercial for Mando and Grogu. I know you're excited for my show, but are you aware that in May?
Like the old network star crossover kind of promos.
Yeah.
My only other deep hope for this show is that Maul changes his clothes once so we can get a different action figure. I'm very hyped for this and got the new Maul action figure I think I have this exact same action figure, but this one, the card says Maul Shadow Lord. So come on, Maul, wear a different robe so I can get a new action figure. Again, any final Maul thoughts from you?
There was a good thought earlier from Asita Lopez. Always loved the mirror of Maul to Ahsoka, especially at the end of Clone Wars. Fascinating to see his journey because it's a perspective we don't see as much in the world we're familiar with. I like that, and I just like the idea of there's kind of a Maul and Ahsoka connection there, and I think that's good as well. Hodge, thank you for the super chat. Says bring on the iconic hallway scenes. I mean Maul way. Let's get a Maul way scene. No, I'm with you, Jen. Very excited. Curious to see how it plays out in terms of. I mean, obviously they can toss several plates in the air in terms of marketing, but what actually works? What does their metrics say? I don't know. I did my stand-up show Sunday at the Improv. Guy had a killer set. He was retired from Disney marketing, and I wanted to talk to him afterwards. I so wanted to talk to him. So we connected. Maybe I will, because we'll see how this plays out. But so excited for the series.
And I am remiss. We talked a lot on Friday. And have talked before about Darth Vader possibly showing up in this show, if not this season, this show, and with the logic behind it being that, if Maul makes enough noise, if he is wanted by the Empire, which he is in the trailer, that Palpatine might eventually send Vader to shut him down and to test Vader, see if, hey, did I pick the right apprentice, all that kind of thing. Jen, how do you feel about Vader appearing in Maul Shadow Lord?
It doesn't make me excited. I mean, like seeing like somebody, okay, thank you, Jacob. That to me, the rumors of Darth Talon, that's exciting to me. That I'm curious about. Darth Vader, he's showing up everywhere. I don't need him to show up here. Like,
well, Jen, on Friday, you would have lost the poll. It was straight across excitement.
I'm sure.
Straight across,
he's the main baddie. Look, like I get it, but like it wouldn't be surprising. It's like when I give my kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, guess what I got you? And then they're like, oh, socks. Okay, thanks, Mom. Sorry, Darth Vader, you're like socks, but no, not really.
This is the emotional pitch I've been making to people of the why of it, of that it wouldn't just be a physical fight, that they both know stuff about one another. Maul knows he's Anakin. Maul knows he's the kid that dove from the speeder in the sand, so that there's some emotional vulnerability, and the idea that Palpatine is both of their awful dad who would send his 2 kids to compete and see which kid is actually the best. So there's that just kind of like this cruel emotional side of it that I'm fascinated by. That to me is much more than just another Darth Vader appearance, because I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it would be with great purpose, but you're not alone, Jen.
Wait, Patty boy, do you like barbecue sauce? Because I personally don't really. So for me,
I put it on everything, Jen. This is the difference. I put it on mashed potatoes.
Oh God,
my veggies.
Mm-hmm.
Put
It's
it
a soup,
man.
really. Barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it's a
barbecue sauce. No, I'm
Barbecue
more of a
sauce.
sweet and sour sauce at McDonald's kind of gal.
Okay.
I got to get my battery. Just
Okay.
talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. We'll
start wrapping up. I do like what Jennifer is saying, that Darth Vader appears a lot. He has like the songs that are like all featuring Halsey for a few years. This one's featuring Darth Vader now. Get it, but I want it. I want that fight, that confrontation emotionally. All right, Ken, any other chats that you want to take a look at?
No, all good. Kingsport Cal says at 43 he'll take socks as a gift any day. There you go. Will says I need to send me some Memphis barbecue sauce. I'm all in on that. No, great stuff. Thank you as always for joining us live, and great comments as usual.
Lots of great thoughts. Palpatine on the old watch list. Chris Ryan says it's pure fanfic fight goodness and could be a strong scene as well. Those two, Vader and Maul. The other thing, they could pull in, Obi-Wan versus Maul, where the confrontation could be entirely different than we think, kind of thing. So excited for it. All right, that is our look at Maul. We'll be talking about it a lot more because it's coming up soon.
Very soon indeed, and we'll be doing our breakdowns on it. I think leading up to it as well, Joseph and I, we discussed it, right? I put some notes down during that lunch that we're going to look at some of the key moments in Maul's existence in Star Wars storytelling, revisit that there. So look forward to that. As always, you can find the podcast feed out there. If you're listening in the audio, we appreciate that. Every Sunday, we rebroadcast Databank Brawl. There's some Maul stuff there as well. You can go ahead and get some merch, as we mentioned up top, Fourth Wall or Still T Public, and support us directly at patreon.com/ForceCenter. Find us out on social media. As Joseph he said, the episode that comes out Wednesday, all social media seems to be slowly vanishing. So we're wherever we still can be or want to be. Look for us out there. Follow me at Catnapsock or my website, catnapsock.com. If you're in the San Diego or La Jolla area, on Saturday, February 7th, I'll be featuring for Mark Ellis at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. He's there all weekend, but I'm there on that Saturday the 7th. Tickets will be available soon. Joseph.
Yeah, you can follow me on some of the social media. Just try. At Joseph Scrimshaw. You can also go to my website, josephscrimshaw.com, and sign up for my blog, Finish Your Monsters, and I'll have more news soon about where you can see our horror film, Dead Media. That is it for me, Jen.
I was going to say, you can find me on the corner of 3rd and Fairfax. That's where I'll be broadcasting my thoughts. That's where I'm like, literally, I'm basically on Blue Sky and Instagram, and that's pretty much it right now. At Jennifer Landa. Addie, I'm so happy that your train is almost there. Safe travels. Barbecue sauce. You guys all love barbecue sauce.
It's so good.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if I go to like Texas, I'll enjoy barbecue sauce. Is that right?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Sure.
Tennessee. Burbank.
Burbank.
Go to Wood Ranch.
Ralph's grocery store.
Yeah. No, but Wood Ranch. Now you're talking. R.I.P. at the Grove. Don't get me started on that.
That was used to be Wood Ranch, but now Burbank. That's the Mark Ellis and I hang out. That's there. All right, that's it. All right, barbecue friends and fans. We'll see you next time here on ForceCenter.
Oh!